Thank you for joining us for this public information meeting presentation regarding the Land Use Bylaw Map Amendment application or rezoning application for the vacant land with frontage to Rivercrest Lane in Greenwood with the property ID number 55550347. My name is Perry Bowman and I am the planner assigned to this application, and VJ Rice Concrete Limited is the applicant for this application. The purpose of the meeting is to inform the public of the application, to explain the planning policies that enable this application to occur, to receive preliminary feedback. Please note no opinions have been formed on this application at this time and no decisions will be made tonight. So this is the Land Use Bylaw Map Amendment process. We've received a completed application from the applicant, Tom Rice or VJ Rice Concrete Limited. We are currently at the public information meeting phase. After the PIM, I will do a review of the application, which includes referring the application out to any relevant bodies of expert authority. From that review, I will put together a report of my findings, which will be presented to the Planning Advisory Committee. The Planning Advisory Committee will then make a recommendation, whether that be to progress the application, to refuse the application, or to request additional information. From there will be a public hearing, which is, as the name suggests, a public forum or public meeting, which members of the public can attend and voice concerns or ask questions at. Properties within 500 feet of the subject site will be notified of this application by mail, and a notice will be placed in the newspaper. Following the public hearing is the second reading, where the Municipal Council will make its final decision, whether that is to approve the application or refuse the application. And following that decision, there is a 14-day appeal period. So the proposal of this application is to amend the land use bylaw to rezone the subject site from the residential 1 and 2 unit R2 zone to the residential mixed density R3 zone. If approved, this rezoning would allow the development of 26 townhouses, noting that the plan on the screen has not been approved. It is just a hypothetical plan which shows what 26 townhouses might look like on this site. So the planning application process does not provide consent for development. It only provides consent for rezoning if the application is approved. So after the planning application process, there are a number of other processes which need to occur prior to any form of development being approved and then constructed on the land. So this is a map of the municipality of the County of Kings, with the red circle indicating the general location of the subject site within the community of Greenwood. This is an aerial image of the site showing that the site is on the eastern side of Rivercrest Lane, with the entrance to the site behind 168 and between 168 and 174 Rivercrest Lane. The site is located on the extension of an existing residential subdivision, with the majority of the extension of Rivercrest Lane remaining undeveloped at this time. There are a number of dwellings constructed around the cul-de-sac at the end of Rivercrest Lane. So this is a closer aerial image of the subject site. The site is approximately 2.96 acres in area, with a street frontage of approximately 66 feet. The site extends north behind 168 and 164 Rivercrest Lane and extends south behind 174 and 178 Rivercrest Lane. We will note that the aerial imagery is slightly outdated in that there are partially constructed or fully constructed homes on the sites outlined in yellow. This is a zoning map. The site is located within the residential 1 and 2 unit R2 zone. The R2 zone permits 2 unit dwellings, 1 unit dwellings and group dwellings on the land. We also note that the land to the east, west and north of the site are also located in the same R2 zone. Further to the north, we do have the environmental constraints O1 zone. To the south, we have the rural mixed use A2 zone. This is the future land use designation map. The site and surrounding land to the north, east and west is in the residential designation. The residential designation identifies what the land can be used for, and if changes are proposed to be made, what those changes can be. The Municipal Planning Strategy Policy 3.1.3 states that all residential zones are permitted within the residential designation, meaning the Municipal Planning Strategy does not prohibit the rezoning of the land from the residential 1 and 2 unit R2 zone to the residential mixed density R3 zone if all of the policy components are met. So this is a hypothetical map showing what the rezoning might look like if this application is approved in its current form. So this is a photo of the site looking east from Rivercrest Lane, so looking down the skinny portion of the site. This is a photo looking east, standing on the portion of the site between 168 and 174 Rivercrest Lane. So this is a photo of the site looking east, standing in the western corner. This is looking at the rear of 168 and 164 Rivercrest Lane. So this is looking west towards Rivercrest Lane. 178 Rivercrest Lane can be seen directly ahead. This is looking south to the rear corner of the site. So in terms of the enabling policy, Municipal Planning Strategy Policy 5.3.3 states that Council shall consider amendments to any one of the zoning maps of the land use bylaw, provided the application is for a specific development. So the applicant has advised that their proposal is to construct 26 townhouses, and point A is to rezone land to another zone enabled within the same designation. So as stated before, the residential 1 and 2 unit zone and the residential mixed density zone are both covered under the umbrella of the residential designation. Municipal Planning Strategy Policy 5.3.5 asks that Council consider in relation to all applications to rezone land. Point A, the applicable zone placement policy. Point B, the impact of both the specific development proposal and of other possible uses permitted in the proposed zone. And point C, the general criteria for amending the land use bylaw set out in section 5.3, development agreements and amending the land use bylaw. So in respect to the zone placement policy, the Municipal Planning Strategy Policy 3.1.2 states that the residential mixed density R3 zone placement policy is that lands located in this zone are intended to provide a transition between areas of low and high density or on properties that would benefit from flexible development options, including diversity of building forms. This zone is intended to include residential units in a variety of building types at a density consistent with the residential 1 unit R1 and residential 1 and 2 unit R2 zones. In respect to the general criteria set out in Municipal Planning Strategy Policy 5.3.7, Council needs to consider the intent of the municipal planning strategy. Does the proposal conflict with any municipal provincial programs, bylaws or regulations? Is there any financial impact on the municipality? Are there any land use compatibility issues? Are there adequate schools, recreation and community facilities within proximity to the site? Is there the creation of any traffic hazard or congestions? Are there adequate fire protection services and equipment available? Are there adequate sewer and water services available? Is there any potential for flooding or serious drainage problems? Will there be any negative impacts on neighbouring farming operations? And is the site suitable? So once again, this is the land use bylaw map amendment process. We have received a completed application and we're currently at the public information meeting phase. After the public information meeting, a staff will conduct a review of the application, including referring the application out to any specialised bodies that need to provide comment. From there, a report will be presented to the Planning Advisory Committee, who will make a recommendation as to whether to approve, refuse, or ask for additional information. There will be a public hearing following this where properties within 500 feet of the subject site will be notified of the application and of the public hearing, and a notice will also be placed in the newspaper. At the second reading, the Municipal Council will make a final decision as to whether to approve the application or refuse the application, and following that is a 14-day appeal period. If anyone has any comments or questions, feel free to call me on 902-690-6150 or email me at pbowman@countyofkings.ca. Thank you.